Top of mind for the country's finance minister, who ultimately has to find the capex, are the international rating agencies and their reaction to any policy moves. The agencies are due to publish their position on the economy in the next 6 weeks.
If there is a decree or a commitment that we will sustain free education indefinitely, that certainly has fiscal ramifications, because rating agencies like the numbers. And if the numbers will suggest a burgeoning budget deficit because of free fees must fall, then that is a credit negative outcome.
Foreign direct investment remains another critical aspect for a country's growth, and investors will be keeping a close eye on how the students' demands are met.
Your foreigners, when they're looking in to South Africa, they'll be weighing up how South Africa ultimately manages this fiscal balance that needs to be struck between the funding and the tax collections that are coming in and the way that that money is spent.
Capex aside, there is a risk that the country's reputation could be damaged, which could have several repercussions.
There is long-lasting reputational damage because in 1976, when students rioted, they rioted for a very good reason. We now have students who have access to the courts through a class action lawsuit. They have not pursued that action and that course of action. They have in fact chosen arson and burning down and plundering and pillaging, and that creates a huge, huge question mark behind the country.
There's also a broader risk to the country's credit rating.
Under balance of probability, there shouldn't be much to be worried about rating agencies. But when you put the political context in this, it changes the picture quite a bit.
Added to which, if government changes policy, then this also increases the risk of a downgrade.
The risk exists that if it does translate into a policy shift and a policy change that impacts on the fiscus, in other words, raises the expenditure line, and the revenue line that comes attached to that isn't commensurate, well then, yes, absolutely, it raises the risk of further downgrades, perhaps once in junk, even further into junk.
While the physical cost of a no-fee university education has been calculated, what hasn't been calculated is the damage to the country's reputation and the flows of foreign direct investment. Only time will tell how that's going to be impacted. I'm Angelo Coppola for CCTV in Johannesburg, South Africa.